Hey everybody, thanks for you guys who are starting to come join us. I'm just waiting on Arash again here, getting a few things set up, and then we will hopefully get started here in 2 or 3 minutes. Thanks for your guys' patience. Thank you guys all for joining. Arash, I see you join. You want to give me a mic check here? Hey Arash, can you hear me? Arash, can you hear me now? Good to go?
Hello? Oh, yeah,
all right,
there it is.
clear. Cool. Okay, let's give it another 30 seconds here, and then we'll jump right in. Thank you guys all for taking the time to come join us today for our community call. Really excited to share with you guys some updates we have. So we'll jump into the presentation here in just a second.
All right.
All right, cool. Let's jump right in. So thank you all for taking the time to hop on with us today. We really appreciate you guys all coming.
Hey, can you guys hear me? I don't know if the audio cut for Luke or not. Saying that it's going through, I'm just not sure. We're still getting used to this this platform. Oh, okay. I think Luke's just cut out. So yeah, this community call is these community calls are something that we want to have going forward with everyone. Yeah, let me know if you guys can't hear me. Luke, am I sounding good? I'm good. Okay. Let me know if you guys can't. Okay. Yeah, I think Luke's audio cut out. These community calls are something we want to have with everyone to keep you in the loop on the latest with us and everything going on with Taoshi, where our concentrations are as a company, and how we're looking to make PTN drive more value essentially to SN8, which is our ultimate goal. So, but today I wanted to take a step back and just talk a little bit about our vision, how we see SN8, why we built SN8, what direction we're heading. What have we been working on behind the scenes with Glitch Financial? How do we see Glitch Financial? How do we see these two intertwining? We've talked a little bit about it, but I want to go into more depth. And so, the community better understands how we see it and where we're dedicating our resources. Because, we know that beta is around the corner and everyone's anxious to get their hands on it, but it's important to understand where this is all going and why we built it. And then I want to talk a little bit about some major upcoming features that we have and do some Q&A. So that's our plan for today. And again, this will be a reoccurring community call. We'll have it every few weeks. I think twice a quarter we'll try to have it. So we can keep you guys in the loop on the latest with us. Cool. So how do we see S&8 and really what are we trying to build? So this is a crazy statement, but this is really what we're trying to build is a decentralized citadel, which is powering an open hedge fund. So when we think about what we're trying to deliver with S&8, we've always said it's a decentralized prop firm. And really with what we have in terms of what we can pay out our miners, we really think we can have a shot at becoming a decentralized version of Citadel. So when we say that, what do we mean? So that means that the major participants providing us signals, the major participants trading on the network are really our alpha teams. There are these research teams that are competing for the top slots. And there's not thousands of traders or thousands of trading teams providing us signals. It's actually a smaller handful that are all highly capable. And you can think of these as every top miner is a quant firm that's competing on PTN for outsized returns. So we want and we are looking to attract teams that otherwise would be running a hedge fund and operating a hedge fund, and instead kind of pull them in as a miner. So that's kind of the goal on the S&8 side is the top miners on the network are really quant firms in our eyes that are competing, these research teams. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in detail as we go on, but that's the basis, right? And then, well, how do we want to showcase that to the world is what we built with Glitch Financial. And Glitch Financial we really see as an open hedge fund. We want to provide as many people access to these powerful trading strategies as we can. And with Glitch Financial, we built this thing it's an enterprise software product really built for massive scale, so that we can allow people to spread their funds and capture liquidity across many brokers and exchanges, ensuring order fills on large amounts of funds. And so that really allows us to onboard a lot of users. And we understand that these two put together is highly disruptive. Each one individually is incredibly powerful, but when put together, I think they really empower each other, and that kind of drives some of the other aspects that we've talked about, which obviously is how Theta's price increases, which we will jump into as well. So really our vision here is tying these two things together, having Glitch Financial showcase the value of the network and the power of the network, seeing that kind of endlessly, the miners' performances continue to increase, becoming more powerful, the better the quant firms that we can bring on board, right? The more competition can increase. And so this is the overall vision we're going for. And now let's talk about how we're going to get there. And so that's really what we're going to be talking about in the future, in the upcoming slides. So let's talk about S&8, this idea of a decentralized citadel, and that's a proprietary trading network. So what is it? It's a futures-based trading network where you can trade many different asset classes. So you can trade crypto, you can trade Forex, you can trade equities, you can trade commodities. And so it enables our miners to trade many different asset classes and distribute risk across them. So that's the number. And because it's futures-based, the upside is quite high, and allows you to target both sides of the market. So if we're going into a bear market, we can capture, it always provides an opportunity for our traders, whatever market we're in. So, right now, a lot of fears of recession, we believe that with the output of the product, the miners will always find opportunity to trade. And that's just a net benefit for Glitch Financial as well. And so that's really why we targeted a futures-based trading platform is regardless of markets, there should always be opportunity. So how do we judge miners? Miners are judged based off a bunch of different metrics that are all risk adjusted. So if you're familiar, most people are familiar with Sharpe. Sharpe ratio. Some people are probably familiar with Sortino, but we judge them on a variety of them, and then also long and short-term returns. So it's really a basket of metrics that we judge miners off of. And it's quite challenging to get any incentive on PTN. Uh, so initially, a miner joins, they have a 60-day challenge period in which we're monitoring their positions, their orders that they place. If within that 60-day period, right after they exit it, if they're capable of placing among the 75th percentile of miners outside of the challenge period, meaning the miners getting rewarded, then they exit challenge period and start receiving rewards. Currently, we have 220 miner slots on the network, roughly, including, there's 256 total, but you have to account for validators. So roughly only about 30 miners get any significant rewards on SN8. And this goes back to this idea of this decentralized citadel, right? These alpha teams. So almost all the rewards go to a very small number of individual teams that are competing. And because of this incentive mechanism, because of this challenge period, the way we set this up, the only way to get rewards is if you're able to place higher among the miners outside of challenge period, which creates this kind of ever improving mechanism for miners to get better and better. Only the best miners eventually will be able to even compete on SN8. And with the outsized rewards that we currently have, it allows us to really capitalize on this to go attract really talented teams to come compete. And so we're seeing a lot of interest, which we'll dive into as well. The last part of this is the fact that currently there's applications that already exist that are using SN8 data. The signals are streamable to applications. Roundtable 21 has provided a great service running on the Request network that we built that's completely open source. And so, there's Talbot Labs. There's I know Dale got revamped, so I know that Zero and his team are working on that. Timeless's team provides signals as well. And so all these different teams are kind of using the output of the network, along with more I didn't even mention. But we're just one of those other services, right, with Glitch Financial leveraging the data from the network to create Glitch Financial. So, yeah. On the decentralized Citadel part, when we're talking about that, we've done analysis on this to understand what should we be paying our miners to be able to compete and hit on this vision we have of a decentralized Citadel. And top traders at prop firms earn roughly $1.5 million annualized. And currently, PTN payouts can equate. So essentially, we should be as aggressive as we can to get this talent to be onboarded onto SN8. And obviously, the onus is on us at Taoshi to do that. We are put together programs. I don't know if you didn't see it. We have a LinkedIn job posting, which we're willing to pay out our own SN ownership emissions to attract more talent. So paying out a bonus if you're able to pass challenge period, things like that, to just get more visibility on what we're building. And it already has started to pay dividends. We've already started to have conversations with quant firms who find it very fascinating what we're building. The conversation usually starts out with them saying they've done competitions like this before, and then we talk a little bit about it more in depth, and they go, "We've never seen anything like this." We got called, which was really interesting. We got called the heretic of Wall Street by one quant firm in a good way, because it's quite disruptive. So the conversations are definitely, I think it's a little bit of an adjustment. Generally the idea of getting paid for your signals and your signal production is not new, but the way that we're doing this is very different. And the fact that we're trying to build this pumping towards, an open hedge fund is very different. And obviously all of this, as I said, is with this open hedge fund in mind with Glitch Financial. So the reason we built Glitch Financial, one, we understand that the SN team themselves are the ones that have the most at stake, right? Building the whole network and then ensuring that you showcase its value. But we are the best situated to showcase that value to its true potential. And at the best scale, at the the largest scale with the most users. And that's why we built Glitch Financial. Glitch Financial was actually based off of infrastructure that we acquired from previous companies. And that's what kickstarted our ability to create this. This typically, enterprise software takes about 1 to 2 years to make. I mean, usually 2 years plus with some teams. But if you're good, 1 to 2 years to build enterprise software. If anyone's been at a startup and built enterprise software, you'll know what I'm talking about. And so we started PTN in pretty much early April that we launched it, and we started working on Glitch Financial, I believe, in May. So it'll be less than a year that we'll be in beta, and we're already alpha testing this. So we really built this. We realized that if we want to showcase the value to its maximal capacity, we really need to build this ourselves. And obviously, this leverages the power of the network. So we leverage what we call network models, which is essentially a combination of our alpha teams, the miners outside of challenge period, and putting their signals into one cohesive strategy, whether that's to get stronger signal base, like say they're all signaling the same kind of pattern is it going to happen, or based off of their signals, or a combination of simply their signals together with a weighted average based off incentive mechanism. But the network models are the basis of them is to showcase the power of the network based off of these alpha teams that are going to be that are currently starting to onboard and compete. The way that Glitch Financial works is, well, it's called we call it an open hedge fund. It's actually a non-custodial SaaS platform. So we don't charge for the returns. The way that it works is actually based off of a base fee that we charge, and it's not based off of how much your leverage you're using or anything like that. It's just the base amount of portfolio value that you want to trade with. So again, we built this really to allow people to start with smaller amount of funds. Not everyone has hundreds of thousands of dollars. We realized that the way that privatized hedge funds worked is very exclusive, and we kind of wanted to break that mold and allow people to start with smaller amounts, give people a reliable trading system to manage their wealth. And that's kind of the point of Glitch Financial. So built for both retailers so that they can onboard with a smaller amount of funds and get started at a reasonable price. And then also the wealth management side. So one of the big things is, Timeless is a great example. They're going to be our first wealth manager onboarded. But we want to allow wealth managers to come on, bring on their clientele, handle this completely non-custodial, but monitor the systems and ensure that their customer base is best using the product by splitting their distributing their capacity, essentially the amount of funds, their portfolio across many brokers and exchanges to ensure proper order fills. So we want to allow wealth managers to come on, bring their clients' funds and get paid for doing so as another avenue. So really handling both sides. Essentially, it's a way to get started as a hedge fund if you're a wealth manager without having to build any of the infrastructure for a hedge fund or having to build the strategies yourself. You just take a percent of the like a management fee essentially for bringing on and managing the client funds in a non-custodial manner. So pretty great deal for wealth managers, and for retailers, great deal as well because you can start with less funds. So tackles both sides. Right. So when we talk about these two really being married at the hip, it's really creating this flywheel, which we've talked about, but I definitely want to hit on. It's the miners improving based off the incentive design, right? The 75th percentile that miners in challenge period have to meet to exit challenge period to receive any significant rewards. It's therefore with those better miners increasing the performance, right? The risk adjusted returns that we can then feed into Glitch Financial with our network models and provide to our user base. That user base would then increase, right, in size and assets under management really by the platform, which if you haven't heard, we are using 100% of net revenue, just post server costs, and buying back data, which we want to throw into this idea of a DAO or community programs to drive things forward, which I'll also talk about in this call. And then the DAO would spend to increase marketing efforts, which again drives more users to Glitch Financial, maybe increases the performance of the miners on the network, which then therefore increases emissions. So the entire flywheel would inevitably increase the value of Theta and increase the performance of miners, while simultaneously increasing the performance of the strategies on Glitch Financial. So it's a perfect marriage between the two that we can really showcase with Glitch Financial and S8 in this flywheel. Cool. So Glitch Financial beta launch. So I want to hit on this. This is obviously really important. Everyone is really waiting for Glitch Financial beta. Again, we've been pushing super hard internally for scale, for testing, ensuring that we can onboard individuals. We're starting to onboard, but really just currently partners. Timeless is in there right now. We have a few others joining. But we are going to expand to beta this quarter. Still, that's still the target. So if you have been on the wait list, if you're not on the wait list, go ahead and join the wait list. If you're on the wait list, you'll hear from us very soon about onboarding. Directive investments for US launch is going to be incredibly important. We want to, again, scale this to eventually allow anybody to join. So we need to be legally registered in all the significant countries, Canada, US, Singapore, etc., that may have restrictions. So getting a director of investments on board to help us in this process is major. So we should be looking to onboard US clientele this year, in the second half of the year, just because regulations take quite a long time. So it won't be an immediate thing that we'll have available, but we are working towards it. We have done some I don't know if you've seen the Glitch Financial site, but it's gotten a little bit of a revamp. It looks, in my opinion, quite clean. We're continuing to refine it. You'll see some more changes, better user experience. We're going to be all ears for beta. So if you have feedback, make sure you provide it. We've completed MetaTrader 5 connectors for various FX strategies and various brokers. So you're going to have a multitude of options in terms of the brokers in beta. That list will continue to expand, because really the benefit of connecting to MetaTrader 5 is it's kind of an endless list of brokers that we can plug into. So which again helps with kind of spreading out liquidity. So which I'll also talk about. But I think that's that'll continue to expand, and same with our number of brokers that we allow for trading with crypto. We're adding support for Hyperliquid, obviously a really popular choice right now, and we'll continue to expand that as well. And obviously, as I said, onboarding next round of beta users in this quarter is kind of the goal. And our goal kind of with this, and I'll just hit on really quick, is to continue to expand the beta users over months. I mean, we understand the opportunity that we have with what we're trying to build and how disruptive this is, but it needs to be done at the correct scale at the correct time. And so we will ensure that there will be restrictions in beta. Like, you won't be able to trade with more than a certain amount of collateral to start, a certain amount of portfolio size, a certain amount of leverage. We don't want people blowing their accounts. We want to make sure that we can handle all of it at scale. And so the amount of users, the amount of size you can trade with will continue to increase with time. And the number of users we onboard will increase with time, but it will be something that we scale into, and we're not going to rush towards. So again, big vision here, pretty much unlimited size. When we look at the total addressable market of what we're trying to handle, it's hundreds of billions of dollars. So no concern in terms of, the market and what we can tackle here, but it's really about addressing this appropriately at the right size, at the right scale, and taking one step at a time towards our ultimate goal of onboarding as many people as we can. Eventually, our plan is by end of 2028, having tens of thousands of users on Glitch Financial. So great. Let's talk a little bit about some upcoming releases. So collateral has been a conversation that's been had in the community for quite a while. We are looking to implement it. So why this matters is that miners will no longer pay a registration fee that is some outsized value, right? Like 2.55 tau, that's just a sunk cost. Instead, they will place collateral and deposit collateral via a smart contract in stables. So you instead place something like 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 in collateral as a miner competing on the network. That collateral unlocks a certain amount of capacity or amount that the miner is then trading with on the network. So, for example, if you deposit $10,000, you'd be trading with a simulated amount of $100,000 on our network. If you deposit $20,000, you would have up to 200,000. Now, if you fail challenge period or begin to perform poorly on the network, that collateral can be essentially taken. However, you're as a miner, you can also choose to exit the network if you'd like and recuperate your collateral. So both are options. And what that does is it's going to enable some things that are quite unique. The collateral that the miner deposits, we will be essentially equally trading with that amount in terms of simulated funds via private accounts on Glitch Financial. And this is something we've never discussed before, so this is going to be brand new. The amount as we simulate or essentially copy trade miners based off the collateral deposited in their simulated funds, the profit from all of that, the simulated funds and the collateral, we are going to pass back to the network. So what I'm saying is the revenue produced not only by our subscription model, not only by the users in Glitch Financial, will go back to Theta, but the actual collateral provided and the capacity of that collateral will be traded on in a simulation, a copy trading account that we host. And that will be the profit from that will also go back to Theta. So it's a second revenue source for Theta buybacks that we will then place into these community programs to drive business further. OSS training. So we need. There's one big piece that's really important here. So we are going after quant firms, right? We will be aggressively going after hedge funds, quant firms, quantitative traders, helping them build their teams. But they have existing trading strategies. They know what they're doing, right? But in order to really take SN8 and PTN to the next level and Glitch Financial to the next level, we not only have to be thinking about the existing teams that have strategies, but helping research teams that are thinking about what direction they want to head into in terms of machine learning to come approach the network. And in order to do that, we really need to be providing them open source training infrastructure to build models, competitive models that then automatically plug into PTN. So essentially, you can think of us going to Stanford, Berkeley, USC, UCLA, top universities, Yale, Oxford, et cetera, giving talks, trying to onboard research teams at these universities, essentially form the next wave of quant teams, pointing them in the direction of competing on PTN with grants and providing them this OSS infrastructure for training so they can hit the ground running to create strategies, competing on, say, testnet challenges to get moving, and then which is kind of like would be like our B tier, C tier competition, and then eventually moving up ranks to compete on PTN. And so that's how we scale for long-term success, is bringing on as much talented ML scientists as possible to compete. And they need a starting point. And that's what the OSS training infrastructure does. It gives them the starting point to create complex trading strategies that with built-in backtesting engines that you can then plug into PTN. And all of the infrastructure mirrors a lot of the data that we have in PTN. So you would know how you would place as a miner on the network, right, based off your backtesting data without having to directly compete. And you would then be able to leverage the testnet challenges to be able to know how you would compete against the miners on the network and get some funding to get to be competitive. So this is a basis to really onboard the future of PTN, right? Right now, short term, we need to target, and we are targeting the quant firms, the hedge funds that already exist, and trying to pull them in to compete on the network, because we have quite a bit of rewards, right? When we talk about the rewards, it equates, right, of the top quants at top firms. And so they're very incentivized to come compete. But we also need to be forming the next wave, the future of PTN competitors, and adding competition. And that means going after research teams that are looking for a problem to solve, and to get funding that way. So the training infra will provide that basis. And lastly, this is a huge part of what we're trying to do with the DAO eventually, but we want to kickstart it sooner. And the community programs will be a way for you as an individual Theta holder to start a business around SN8. So we don't want to be the sole entity pushing users and a user base to Glitch Financial. We don't want to be the only team pushing and recruiting talent to SN8. We want to decentralize these efforts. And so you can think of Theta as actually a true multi-purpose token. The point of the token is not only to incentivize miners, it's to incentivize wealth managers, affiliates to come bring business to Glitch Financial. It's not only for that, but also to recruit talent to SN8. And so we want to, when we think about community programs, when we think about the DAO, we think about these programs to drive business development, drive marketing for this flywheel, and you receive Theta for doing so. So essentially, it's a multi-purpose incentive. It's an incentive mechanism being deployed via the DAO, leveraging Theta for all these different purposes, and so we want to enable you as a contributor to do so, and create a full business around what we're doing here. So we will not only use our buybacks, which currently is 1,250 Tau that we're buying back. I think I would say 250, 300 Tau into our buybacks. We are also going to be fueling it with our SN ownership emissions. So, we'll be looking to use our Theta to actually pay out members of the community to drive these efforts forward. And we'll be using the revenue from Glitch Financial, and we'll be using the revenue from the collateral-based trading system, this copy trading system that we're developing, to all funnel back to push efforts forward. So you can imagine it being a massive amount of fuel going into this really powerful engine that'll eventually push forward the entire flywheel. Cool. Happy to answer any questions. But again, we want to have these calls twice a quarter, make sure that you guys know where we are with these upcoming major projects, Glitch Financial beta, these upcoming items like collateral, OSS infrastructure, and also with our community programs. Cool. Any questions? You guys can go ahead. I think it picks it up from social. So if you guys have anything, go ahead and type it in. I think we should be able to see it. I don't know if Luke's mic is working or not.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Yeah, sorry, I'm having technical difficulties here. I actually wanted to start us off with a question here. So one question we've seen in the community is, what is the team doing to battle test Glitch Financial? And could you give some insight on just kind of how the first initial test phase is going?
Yeah, this is a great question. Currently we've been testing with live funds in an alpha period, the network model and various strategies to ensure we are monitoring major KPIs like order fills, latency. Like when you're building a full trading system, it has to, and you're handling for size, it's got to be thinking about the full pipeline. So the orders coming through from PTN, streaming to our systems, which are then digesting them, creating a network model, weighing the orders properly, then submitting to individual trading accounts, right? And firing properly and placing the order and filling the order. It's not simple. And for when you're thinking size. And so a lot of our what we've been doing is monitoring those pipelines, building out KPI dashboards so we can ensure success and measure success of Glitch Financial during a beta. So little things that aren't being seen by the community, but that have major impact on the success of Glitch Financial for beta. Those are the things we're building out.
Cool. Another question. This is actually something we did not hit on, but we should touch on. Question coming from Bat Tech. Question is, are you hiring?
Yeah, we are hiring. We actually have 3 real job postings open. We are actually constantly hiring, though. If you're talented, reach out. I mean, we have people that reach out, and then we end up sometimes bringing them on in contract roles if it makes sense. So, we have a role for director of investments we're hiring, again, to get us in US. Then we also have a Rust suite. So we're building out smart contracts, a DAO, collateral. These things all require smart contracts. So we are hiring a very senior engineer that can handle a lot of our smart contracts, which is a Rust suite, which suite stands for software engineer. If you're not wondering what the acronym is. And then lastly, we're hiring another staff software engineer for the Glitch Financial side. And so we can help build out efforts there. So we already have a team of 15, but 15, 20, I believe. And so we're just continuing to build that team out.
Cool. Any other questions from the chat? Please feel free to throw them in there and we'll get them answered for you. Otherwise, you can always ask us them after on Twitter. Another question that I've seen in the community recently is, do we have any other plans to build subnets outside of PTN in the future on Bittensor?
Right now, our concentration is just on S8. We want to make sure it reaches its full potential, which is a very high potential, obviously. We're looking for it to be a major disruptor. But in the future, we will be looking for complementary pieces to create complementary pieces to PTN, to S8 that also plug into Glitch Financial. So we kind of want to we want to be able to provide more opportunity for users. And that means that there will be more products that we want to launch that are based off of the output of subnets.
Awesome. Another question here from James. This is a really interesting one. Do you anticipate that university-led AI research will surpass traditional quant trading strategies in effectiveness?
Yeah, I actually do. That's why I'm betting. So I think we're kind of betting quite big on it. In the beginning, I feel there's existing teams that are quite good, but we're not going to be able to attract everyone, right? We're not going to be able to attract some hedge funds that already have large amounts of assets under management. We're just not going to be able to pull them in, but we're going to be able to pull in quite a bit. And instead, I think the longevity here is really in bringing on research teams and incredibly talented machine learning scientists that want to tackle this problem and give them a jumpstart with infrastructure and funding, with whether that's grant programs, whether that's bonus structures, however we can incentivize them to come take on this challenge. And not say for example, go take on create a competitor to OpenAI, right? Like we want to try to pull them in to tackle this problem and say not another problem, and that takes funding. So, in my opinion, I think the long-term success is getting really strong research teams, a lot of them, to come compete in a multi-level competition, right? You can think of Premier League, right? There's tiers to it. And so you can create that tiering system and move research teams from one tier to the next to seek that continuous improvement.
Awesome. As of now, we have no other questions in the chat. So is there anything else from you, Arash, that you want to touch on before we wrap things up? Any final questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll answer them for your comments over Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, etc. So.
Yeah, I have one more I forgot to hit on. And Thomas, I just talked to Thomas, our head of R&D, about this. We will have a full research report and also a full dashboard. It's one of those other items that we're working on to showcase the improvements to miner performance over time via PTN. So not only can you just go use Glitch Financial and see the performance of miners, but you'll be able to actually see it on a dashboard, the performance improvement over time. So improvements in Sharpe ratios, so Tino, Omega, et cetera, of our top miners over time. And we've already started doing this internally, but we want to showcase it to everyone. So we'll have a full report and a dashboard with live performance metrics, so you can see not backtesting data, but actual live performing data on PTN. And in terms of size, I think one thing that people may not know that we did this quarter is we added so validators act as individual exchanges in a way, or brokers. And we are essentially added slippage and impact modeling. So essentially it mimics a real exchange experience. And so that's why we can move to collateral now, where you can say, oh, you're not trading with 100,000, you could trade with $5 million simulated on Glitch Financial, on PTN, because the slippage and impact models will simulate as if you were trading with that $5 million on an actual exchange or broker. So pretty powerful system we built. It's kind of again, first of its kind. No one's built something like this in the way that we have, to really allow people to deposit that collateral and build this new revenue source like we're talking about, where we mirror their trades and they're trading with size. And I would say the capacity portion of this is really how we scale long term. The top miners are all going to be trading with 5, 10 million, et cetera, larger and larger amounts of capacity or funds. And the more funds you can trade with higher performance metrics, risk-adjusted returns, the more impressive it is, the more incentive you'll get. So not only is it, this incentive mechanism of 75th percentile to pass challenge period and get an incentive, but it's also the fact that miners are going to start pushing for more capacity and the more that they can trade with. And then that gives us more confidence on the Glitch Financial side to use their trades for size, right, for our clients. So it's going to be a really powerful system that we're building, and we're continuing to improve it. I mean, collateral is still coming, right? It's continuous and constant improvements. It's hiring more people internally to scale this all out. And that's what's been happening I would say for the past years, we built out this vision.
Awesome. Well, I don't see any other questions at this moment, so I think we can wrap it up here. So thank you guys all for tuning in today for our community call. Like Arash said, we're going to try and do this hopefully twice a quarter. So stay tuned for some of the future stuff here coming on that, and we'll hopefully have some exciting updates for you guys very soon on Glitch Financial as well as Taoshi.
Yeah.